Hey Luke, you doing okay, man? Your last text seems kind of off.
Yeah, it's all good. Just a long day at work. You know how important it is for first responders to be familiar with critical facilities on base? And since COVID, it's been nearly impossible to conduct effective building walkthroughs. But we have to be prepared. So I go down to the civil engineers, and she hands me the stack of 1980s blueprints and as builts and AutoCAD files. I can't even use these things, let alone even open them.
Gosh, that's just like engineers. And you've only got like 2 weeks left, right?
Yeah, that's right. Actually, our relocation's going really smooth. My family and I were able to go online and see a bunch of houses virtually. It's so awesome to walk through these without having to be there physically. I just wish we had these at work.
You know, I think you might be onto something there. There's so many cases where this could be used like right away. This summer, I was down in the middle of the Pacific walking through buildings with airmen and NCOs. We were getting photos to baseline this big contract. Well, I know the technology they use to scan those houses, and I could see us totally having gotten those while we were down there. I don't get it. If realtors get to play with this tech, why can't our airmen? You know what? Hang on a second. Let me get a hold of AFIMSC. Ladies and gentlemen, our plan for scanning facilities in 3D will modernize how buildings are managed to support engineering personnel and first responders. These models make engineering practices usable across the enterprise by providing a full set of digital tools for stakeholders home and abroad.
A year in Greenland opened my eyes to the importance of being able to communicate the needs of our aging facilities and infrastructure to leaders miles away. With this technology, we can improve those capabilities for current and future operations in Africa and to strengthen existing locations all across Europe.
Yeah, as a demonstration of that, this summer we attempted a trial run by leveraging a $400 million contract as an opportunity and quickly found out what works and what doesn't. As a result, we figured out a 2-year plan to run a full pilot test for an Air Force wide implementation effort that can begin in just a couple of months. The fact is, we have the opportunity to make the Air Force the premier military power in virtual environments. And that begins with the way we manage our facilities.
And these possibilities go beyond building management. They prevent the loss of life and property in the event of emergency. It's vital that rescue teams have accurate plans of confined spaces and know building conditions before they're on fire. Furthermore, health and safety regulations require fire evacuation and hazardous maps be available for all employees.
Yeah, Luke's right. And this will save money. The 611th alone can save 1.8 million in a year. Now, it's not the same, but imagine across 71,000 Air Force buildings, there are significant returns on investment. In one repeatable action, it surveys, it measures, it records, and it documents efforts. And by quickly making that data available less than 24 hours, it streamlines the organization with improvements to engineering and work order review processes and empowering contract oversight functions. We're asking for the seed funds to grow this opportunity. 450,000 and continuous top-level advocacy will ensure that a 2 to 3 base pilot program establishes a secure and deliberate approach for the enterprise. And we can set the bar for the DoD.
Like Scott said, these 3D images will measurably improve our ability to communicate building deficiencies in order to prevent construction errors that will negatively impact missions on garrison, at expeditionary sites, and in geographically separated locations.
In fact, to represent these environments, we've worked with AETC, AFCEC, and the top levels of AFIMSC over this last summer. Our Rodeo team alone consists of leadership for buy-in, a process manager for implementation, and an end user for critical human feedback. Our plan puts these virtual tools in the hands of military and civilian airmen in a way that's become familiar to home buyers through Zillow.
With your help, we're asking for $450,000 to field industry proven technology that will save time, save money, and will save lives.
Hey, that was a pretty cool pitch right there, you know, going a little talking back and forth at the beginning. Before we get into questions on your pitch, how'd the week go? I mean, what'd you learn during this week? I mean, some of these innovation rodeos, you just come in and pitch it yourself, man. But we hired some coaches, you know, to do that. I'd love to get your feedback, you know. I mean, should we keep doing it? Was it worth it? Can you apply it in your day-to-day life? Can you get something out of your spouse, maybe, you know, pitch it to them?
Absolutely, sir. It's amazing to see the avenues and the resources that the Air Force has and is able to use to further innovative culture that we already have. So the team was great helping us along.
I'm interested in, do you think that these images need to be brought into one of our standard systems, one of our maybe engineering systems, or how would we make sure that we have access to these over time?
So working with Bill Valenti, we've already talked about trying to see what we can do to wrap it into the builder system we're using to track with facilities. But there's a couple of prongs we want to approach. Yes, it should be incorporated or at least linked through. And we would also like to see a native support for 360 photographs on Air Force computers.
And would your initial phase prototype explore how you would do that?
Yes, ma'am. Already working with Navy's Beamer Lab, where they already have some software written by civilian personnel, federal civilians. So it's something that we can do in-house, and we can make that happen.
Hey, teammates, appreciate you guys' time and coming and pitching. Pretty intriguing to me because this is an area that I'm not real familiar. But how about I give you an opportunity? My question would be on return on investment. Kind of explain to me a little bit, where does that come from? What are we really getting for our money here across multiple areas?
So Chief, I'd like to take that question. Thank you for the question. So what you're really getting for your return on investment is you're getting an ease of use for your end user. The ability to be able to go in and see something, the ability to go in a meeting and explain it to somebody who doesn't have experience with the blueprints and to look at stuff like that all the time. You basically also are returning time to our airmen to be actually to go out and improve our infrastructure rather than just accounting for it.
Cool. Good deal. Especially, I would imagine the quality of the photos and just the quality. And I know this goes back to what Ms. Estep was doing, the system that you're going to use, putting it together and painting that picture is just gonna probably give you a lot better information at the end of the day as well. All right, gang. Can I take these pictures, these 3D pictures, turn them into I'm not an engineer, turn them into a digital twin, load them in some AutoCAD? I want to get some savings, man. So is it going to help me on the AA&S side, the design side, new project side, other than just having a bunch of pretty pictures to look at?
Yes, sir. Thank you for the question. So yes, it is going to help us save. It does actually work with AutoCAD and helps give us an as-built of that facility. But the ability to go in and look at that facility without actually having to travel to our site is a huge blessing for units like ours that have to travel thousands of miles all the time. To be able to go there, look at it, reduces time, and give us a better quality. Overall, it's just going to give us like I said before, more time to improve our infrastructure and less time.
Oh, okay, good. Hey, great job, man. I'm excited on what this could do. And I appreciate y'all bringing it into the Innovation Rodeo and going through the week, boot camp week, innovation boot camp, right? And then pitching it, because I think it's got a lot of possibilities across the Air Force, man. Great job.
Thank you, sir. Man.